Heroin was synthesized from morphine in 1874. Morphine was used as a cure for opium addiction, but morphine was also found addictive. Then, heroin was used in place of morphine. Today, heroin in the United States comes mostly from Southeast Asia, Southwest Asia, Latin America, and Mexico. Heroin is typically sold in a white or brownish powder form, or as a black sticky substance known as black tar heroin.
We're here today to talk with A-Dog Listless, Call Me A-Dog, and E-Harmony about the world of heroin. So, how did the drug take over your lives? Well, a couple years ago, I got in a car accident. The doctors gave me prescription oxys. Those rocked. Well, after my prescription ran out, I started looking on the streets. Come to find out, oxys are expensive, and heroin is so much cheaper. So, I tried heroin out, and wow, the sensation of being high from heroin, unforgettable.
Well, I had the typical daddy problems growing up, so I turned to something that could actually love me. It started out with Addies, went into Mary J, and even Tabs, but I still didn't find anything I liked, so I turned to heroin. There's like with any other drug, you just need to take more and more and more to create that high, and that's how it took over my life.
It was such intense euphoria. Can you tell me where it comes from and what it looks like? Well, heroin usually comes from poppy plants. And most people mix it with other substances or drugs, like sugar, baking soda, or cocaine.
They do that to increase profit in the drug world because, shit's expensive, and we like to make as much as we can so we can make it a little bit heavy on the non-drugs and still sell it as drugs, we increase profit. My favorite form of heroin is cheesy heroin. It's just heroin mixed with black Mexican tar. It creates a great high. Heroin's often gray, brown, or black, but we keep our shit pure.
Pure white, baby. So is injection the only way to use heroin?
No, heroin can also be smoked or sniffed.
I like injection because you get the sense of euphoria and the sensation of being high the quickest. And most people usually inject. It's just the quickest way and you get that feeling.
I, however, don't like injection. I prefer smoking it because it reduces AIDS and Hep C due to sharing needles.
The various additives do not fully dissolve, and when they are injected into the body can clog the blood vessels that lead to the lungs, kidneys, or brain. This itself can lead to infection or destruction of vital organs. The user buying heroin on the street never knows the actual strength of the drug in that particular packet. Thus, users are constantly at risk of an overdose.
I do it for the rush! I do it for the warm feeling! Ah! Heroin's great!
After these initial effects fade, the user becomes drowsy for several hours. The basic body functions such as breathing and heartbeat slow down. Also, due to an overdose, a coma or death can occur. Withdrawal includes the extreme physical and mental symptoms which are experienced if the body is not supplied again with the next dose of heroin. Withdrawal symptoms include restlessness, aches and pains in the bones, diarrhea, vomiting, and severe discomfort. Within hours after the drug's effects have decreased, the addict's body begins to crave more. If he does not get another fix, he will begin to experience withdrawal.
You got anything? I really need a fix. I'm dying. I'm in so much pain. Come on, please.
I'm sorry, I don't have anything.
I'm so sick.
Some of the long-term effects of heroin use are extreme pain due to withdrawals, being sickly, thin and bony, and dead.
Long-term effects include bad teeth, inflammation of the gums, constipation, cold sweats, itching, weakening of the immune system, muscular weakness, loss of memory and intellectual performance, introversion, depression, loss of appetite, and insomnia.
First, heroin enters the brain and is then converted back into morphine. Morphine binds to opioid receptors, and these receptors are located especially in areas involved in the perception of pain and pleasure. This can have an effect on blood pressure, arousal, and respiration. Opiates, mainly heroin, account for 18% of the admissions for drug and alcohol treatment in the U.S.
In 2002, the number of teenagers in America, aged 12 to 17, who used heroin at some point in their lives was 3 times as high as it was in 1995. Heroin accounted for 14.1% of all admissions to publicly funded substance abuse treatment programs in 2008. The majority of people seeking treatment from this pool were Caucasian, 59.8%, and nearly a third of all admissions were for people between ages 20 to 29.
Dude, how should we increase our clientele?
Dude, 9.2 million people use heroin.
You know, they say that after the first use you're already addicted, so we could give it out free samples.
We'll get them like that. Most people who are addicted nowadays ingest 150 milligrams, 250 milligrams a day.
Damn. See, it doesn't even matter who we target because even if you're 12 or 20 or even 80, you're still doing it. And it doesn't matter if you're white, you're black, you're rich, you're poor, nothing. We could get anyone we wanted.
Heroin is a Schedule I classification drug. To be this, it has to have a high potential for abuse, no current highly accepted treatment in the U.S., and have a lack of accepted safety for the use of drug or substance under medical supervision.
Medications work through the same opioid receptors as the addictive drug, but are safer and less likely to produce the harmful behaviors that characterize addiction. 3 types of medications include agonists, which activate opioid receptors, partial agonists, which also activate opioid receptors but produce a smaller response, and antagonists, which block the receptor and interfere with the rewarding effects of opioids. A particular medication is used based on a patient's specific medical needs and other factors.
Behavioral therapies are also used by having a reward system in which patients earn points based on negative drug tests, which they can exchange for items that encourage healthy living.
With treatment, most users stop their addictive behaviors. However, if treatment is discontinued or not used, relapse is most often the outcome.